A dusky sky draped over Hogwarts, as if the heavens themselves were holding a collective breath. Delphini Riddle stood alone by the black lake, her reflection rippling in the water like a prophecy half-formed. She clutched a battered, leather-bound book, its pages yellowed and old, the letters barely decipherable, a relic from the restricted section she had stealthily borrowed. It hummed with secrets, heavy with the whispers of time, making her pulse quicken with each flicker of the brittle parchment. Suddenly the stillness shattered, a rushing wind, urgent, insistent, carrying with it an aura of the extraordinary. Her silver-blonde hair whipped about her face as the wind coalesced into a vortex of light, and from it emerged a ghostly figure, the specter of Sybil Trelawney, eyes alight with otherworldly fervor. "The air awakens," intoned Trelawney, her voice an echo through the ages. "The storm returns, a choice of shadows, a legacy burns." A jolt of electricity, like magic uncontained, ran through Delphini. The words hammered at her, each syllable a key constructing a cage around her destiny, or a door. As quickly as it had begun, the vision faded, leaving Delphini trembling and breathless. The urgency of Trelawney's message crackled in the air. She knew she couldn't ignore it, not now. Her mind raced. She needed Scorpius, needed his grounded confidence in the storm that seemed to be gathering. Just then, as if summoned by the same spectral winds, Scorpius Malfoy emerged from the twilight, his robes brushing the grass, an air of mischief softened with kindness in his eyes. "Delphini," he greeted her curtly, sensing her agitation. "The prophecy," she whispered back, clutching the book tighter. "We have to find this heir, Scorpius. Everything could change." He nodded, seriousness etching lines of determination on his youthful face. In that moment, the quest began, and with it, the promise of redemption or ruin. The afternoon sun streamed through the high windows of the Hogwarts library, painting intricate patterns on the stone floor. Delphini sat at a table piled high with scrolls and tomes, yet her eyes wandered aimlessly over the faded pages. Doubts swirled like mist in her mind, clouding her resolve. She traced the line of her father's signature on an old parchment, her fingers trembling. "Why me?" The question repeated itself, a drumbeat of uncertainty. The weight of a legacy she had never asked for pressed heavily on her shoulders. Was she destined to follow the dark path of her forebears or carve a new road into the light? Nearby, Scorpius flipped through an enormous book with more ease, though his glances at Delphini revealed his concern. "Maybe it doesn't have to be you. Maybe we'll find someone else," he suggested gently, trying to tether her back from the brink of her anxiety. But his words, instead of comforting, stirred a deeper fear. What if there was no one else? What if their search was doomed before it even started? Delphini shook her head, trying to expel these thoughts. A sharp tap-tap erupted from the window. An owl, clutching a scroll in its talons, cawed insistently. Scorpius retrieved the message, unrolling it with careful hands. As his eyes scanned the letter, a tension crept into his posture. "The catalyst we feared," he murmured, passing Delphini the scroll. His fingers brushed hers, grounding her momentarily before the storm of information struck her senses. "Your father's shadow will awaken if unchecked." Delphini rose, the chair scraping back. Denial had no place here now. This, she realized, was not merely her struggle, but a plea from history for action. She steadied herself, nodded to Scorpius, and together they stepped toward the unknown, a legacy not only to challenge but to redefine. The room at the Hog's Head was dimly lit, the fireplace casting shadows that danced over the worn furnishings. Delphini and Scorpius settled into the creaky chairs, the warmth of the room stark against the chill of apprehension threading through them. Around the battered table sat their potential allies, a gathering as eclectic as it was essential. First was Althea Goldfinch, a keen-eyed Ravenclaw graduate whose knack for unraveling spells was unmatched. Her presence added a cerebral sharpness to their group, her gaze piercing through the thickening air with a resolve of her own. Beside her, Hugo Weasley, his fiery red hair a beacon of levity and tenacity. He fidgeted with a quill, his irreverent humor occasionally slipping into the conversation, cutting through the tension with well-timed wit. Then, a brooding figure in the corner, Lucas Knott, Scorpius's childhood friend. His calm exterior barely masked a turbulent past, yet his loyalty was unwavering, his quiet strength a necessary counterbalance to the uncertainty ahead. "Let's get one thing straight," Lucas's voice was low but firm. "We're not hunting for legends. We're here to stop a danger." At this, the room fell silent, the gravity of their task settling heavily upon them. The conversations began, weaving plans that sparked hope and friction alike. Althea's measured tones contrasted with Hugo's mercurial enthusiasm, Lucas's pragmatic interjections with Delphini's determined vision. And though the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty, a fragile camaraderie began to take root, bonded by a shared mission. For Delphini, the forming of this fellowship was more than a means to an end. It was a step toward reimagining her place in a world still haunted by shadows, each heart and soul gathered in that humble pub part of something larger than themselves, yet woven together by choice and courage. The chill of the Scottish evening deepened as Delphini and her companions made their way to the castle gates. A sense of inevitability hung in the air, tight like a bowstring ready to snap. Delphini's heart galloped in her chest. The chosen path was one only a few dared to tread, and the weight of the unknown loomed large. As they stepped beyond the towering gates of Hogwarts, it felt as though an invisible barrier had been crossed, a threshold between safety and peril. The night enfolded them, starlit yet tinged with a disquieting undercurrent, as if watching their every move. Althea paused, pulling a worn map from her cloak, its symbols glowing faintly. "This should lead us to the perilous passage," she stated, her voice a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The map revealed a route concealed deep within the forbidden forest, its path zigzagging across territories known and unknown. Hugo snorted, trying to lighten the mood. "What's a quest without a touch of danger?" His laughter was nervous, yet bolstered by the determination stealing his features. Scorpius glanced at Delphini, offering a reassuring nod. "We're ready, whatever it takes." His words anchored her momentarily, a reminder of the bond they shared. Lucas, ever the grounding presence, added, "Stay close. The forest is as loyal as a lost dragon." The journey into the woods was eerie, each rustle of leaves carrying secrets centuries old. As they ventured deeper, the group became acutely aware of the forest's ancient magic, the air itself vibrating with a silent warning. Yet, amidst the shadows, they pressed on, determined to carve their destiny from the tangled threads of their past. A brisk wind whispered through the forbidden forest, its voice playful yet cautionary, rustling leaves with secrets unspoken. Delphini felt its pull, urging her towards destiny, as the trees loomed like sentinels guarding ancient whispers. Each step into the darkened path was fraught with shadow and potential, the air thick with the promise of what lay ahead. Suddenly, Althea halted, her sharp intake of breath echoing in the stillness. "There," she pointed, gesturing to a clearing shrouded in mist. Hovering artifacts sparkled, suspended mid-air, casting an ethereal glow. "This might be a test," Lucas cautioned, his eyes narrowing with suspicion. "I've read about these. Not all are as they seem." Undeterred, Hugo grinned, always fancied a good puzzle. Stepping forward, he reached for the nearest one, a shimmering orb, but Delphini's hand shot out, stopping him. "Wait," she warned. "Magic here is tactile, unpredictable. 9 times a caution was better than once with negligence." After a careful examination, Althea deciphered runes etched into an ancient stone. "Only through harmony," she read aloud, a note of hesitation in her voice. "Together then," Scorpius said, drawing everyone closer. United, they stretched out hands toward the artifacts, minds synchronized in silent comprehension. As they worked in unison, the orbs hummed, shifting and transforming into a doorway that shimmered protectively. A triumphant smile spread across Delphini's face. They had passed the first trial. Steeling themselves, the group stepped through, shadows behind them whispering of challenges yet to come. Emerging on the other side, Delphini found herself before the inmost cave, a cavernous expanse breathing with elusive magic, its walls pulsing with emerald light. It was as if they had stepped into the heart of the forbidden forest, where time itself seemed tethered to the air. Ancient whispers danced between the flickering shadows. Scorpius moved closer, his eyes scanning the mystical chamber. "Everything hinges on what we find here," he murmured, the weight of their mission anchoring his words. Althea, ever perceptive, approached a large stone pedestal at the cave's center, tracing her fingers over markings that spiraled like vines. "This is where the prophecy takes root," she observed, breath intertwined with the cave's thrumming magic. Hugo, restless with anticipation, nudged Lucas. "Looks like our path leads here, one way or another." It was then that a shiver rippled through Delphini, an unsettling familiarity clasping her heart. "It's more than just a place," she whispered, a revelation dawning. "It's where the past meets the present." The prophecy loomed over them, a silent specter urging her forward. A soft hiss crept from the shadows, a serpent's voice slithering into their midst. "Chose wrong or right, the legacy binds," it warned, the spectral echo laced with serpentine allure. Delphini tightened her grip on the book, her resolve solidifying. "We're here to change that," she declared, stepping into the fray. Together, the group embraced their unity, preparing to rewrite their destinies from the echoes of this ancient place. In the heart of the inmost cave, the air throbbed with ancient energy. Delphini's breath steadied as her resolve crystallized. Around her, the emerald light pulsed in rhythmic harmony, casting entrancing shadows on the walls. Each heartbeat echoed, a reminder of the legacy she sought to reshape. Leading the others forward, Delphini felt the serpent's voice slither again through the air. Her father's legacy tethered her, yet here, beneath the weight of expectation, she forged a choice. Unfurling the prophecy's echoes, she finally understood. It was not about lineage, but about transformation. Scorpius stood beside her, his presence a beacon of shared strength. Together they extended their hands towards the pedestal at the cave's heart. As their fingers brushed the smooth stone, a vibrant magic surged forth, wrapping around the group in a cocoon of shared purpose. And then, the cavern responded. The light intensified, swirling colors illuminating the chamber in a kaleidoscope of potential futures. The air became a tapestry of time itself, woven with threads of choice and destiny. "Together," Delphini thought, motioning silently to her companions, "together we redefine what our past has bound." She closed her eyes, letting the magic guide her resolve. In that moment, the transformation sparked, an incandescent shift from shadow to light. A warmth akin to hope blossomed within her, unearthing an unyielding trajectory toward change. For the first time, she caught a glimpse of the new legacy she was crafting, a narrative born not of expectations, but of choices freely made. As they stood united in the cavern's embrace, they knew this was merely the beginning of rewriting their stories. The dawn's first light crept into the forbidden forest, casting golden veins across the undergrowth. Delphini and her companions emerged from the inmost cave unchanged, yet utterly transformed. The journey had etched itself into their beings, carving courage and wisdom from uncertainty. As they retraced their steps through the waking woods, a chorus of birds heralded their triumph. Here, in the cradle of history and magic, they had seized their destiny. Heading back to Hogwarts, the castle loomed invitingly, a sanctuary promising peace and reflection. The group crossed its threshold, feeling the familiar corridors wrap around them like a comforting embrace. The great hall bustled with the morning routine, a testament to resilience and continuity. Students laughed, oblivious to the triumphs and trials that had unfolded in the depths of the forest. Witnessing this, Delphini felt a profound shift. She was no longer just a riddle struggling with her past, but an architect of her future, a protector of the peace hard-earned by those before her. Scorpius caught her gaze, the unspoken understanding between them more tangible now. "We've done it," he murmured, a note of pride tinged with relief. Hugo and Lucas exchanged a smile, while Althea's eyes shimmered with the promise of new mysteries to unravel. Their fellowship, born of necessity, now thrived on friendship and mutual respect. As they settled into the rhythms of daily life, the world appeared brighter, the future painted with the colors of their quest. For Delphini, the return to the ordinary world was not a conclusion, but a prelude to a legacy rewritten. And though the shadows of her past might never fully dissipate, she now understood one truth: light and darkness were both hers to wield.